Have you ever come across a tale so crazy that without 50 people witnessing it, you'd call it fiction? Well, that's precisely the situation that unfolded right on my grandmother's front porch. What started as a sleepy summer day quickly transformed into the type of confrontation you'd expect to see on the big screen. And believe me, when everything was said and done, 2 fake officers were left crawling away defeated, while my brother Marcus stood victorious. Before we get started, drop a comment letting me know which country you're tuning in from. I'm curious to see just how far this tale will reach. The whole thing kicked off on a Saturday, broad daylight, with absolutely no hint of trouble brewing. There sat my Grandma Nell on her front porch, relaxing in her rocking chair while enjoying sweet tea with a splash of lemon. She's exactly the type of woman who commands respect throughout the entire neighborhood. A mother to 5 children, she maintains beautiful flower gardens all year long and has perfect church attendance every Sunday. I was busy helping to repaint the fence alongside my cousins, paintbrushes in our hands, while the scent of freshly mowed grass filled the air. You couldn't have imagined a more peaceful afternoon. That's when the SUV appeared. Dark tinted windows, missing front license plates, moving at a crawl like it ruled the street. Initially, we figured it might be some confused delivery drivers, but then 2 men emerged, wearing dark tactical clothing with badges that seemed suspicious. Not shiny, not authentic looking. Their patches displayed HOA Enforcement Division. I nearly burst out laughing, but their movements were anything but amusing. The first guy wore reflective sunglasses and carried a clipboard. His partner had what appeared to be a stun baton attached to his belt. They marched directly toward Grandma without so much as a hello. "Ma'am," said the one wearing shades, "you're violating multiple HOA regulations. You'll need to accompany us to sort this out." My cousin whispered quietly, "HOA violations for what?" "Having too many flowers." Grandma, maintaining her usual composure, cocked her head to one side. "Young man, I've been living here for 4 decades. There's no homeowners association in this area." That's when the second guy moved in closer, rhythmically tapping his baton against his thigh. "Those flowers of yours, the mailbox, those wind chimes, even your garden gnomes, they're all violations. We sent out notices. You disregarded them. Now we'll be forced to remove them ourselves." My gut churned. This situation wasn't some prank. These weren't legitimate police officers, but they were putting on quite the performance. Even worse, they were confronting an elderly lady on her own porch as if she were some sort of felon. Marcus, my big brother, put down his paintbrush and approached calmly. His expression was stern, his gaze unwavering. "You've got 10 seconds to tell us who you actually are before this situation turns ugly for you." And that comment was all it took to ignite everything. The guy in sunglasses grinned as if Marcus had just issued him a dare. "We have authority here. Move aside," he declared. Then, without any warning, he reached forward and pushed my grandmother's rocking chair backwards. That did it. The moment he laid hands on her, complete mayhem erupted on that porch. My cousins started shouting, neighbors emerged from their homes, but Marcus was quicker than everyone else. He positioned himself directly between Grandma and these imposters, standing face to face with them. "You just committed the worst error of your entire life," Marcus stated, his voice dangerously quiet. The guy with the baton raised it up, targeting Marcus' side, but Marcus grabbed his wrist in midair, gave it a twist, and the man howled like an injured animal. The baton crashed down onto the porch floor. Before the fake officer could respond, Marcus delivered his fist directly to the man's chin. A single blow, precise, forceful, crushing. The imposter collapsed against the porch rail, struggling to breathe. That should have served as sufficient warning. However, the man in reflective shades wasn't finished. He charged ahead, attempting to push Marcus down the steps. Marcus spun around, grabbed him by his shirt, and with one mighty throw, sent him flying through the front room window. Glass exploded in a cascade of sparkling fragments, drapes tore loose, and the phony badge bounced across the hardwood flooring inside. The entire neighborhood stood frozen in disbelief. Children stared wide-eyed from the sidewalk's edge, while adults whispered, "What on earth just took place?" Throughout all of this, Grandma never let out a scream. She simply settled back into her rocking chair, clutching her teacup with both hands, her eyes blazing with determination. "That's my grandson," she mumbled. The one still on the porch attempted to crawl to safety, clutching his chin while muttering profanities. Marcus towered above him, fists still ready, prepared to land another punch if he dared to stand up. "If you ever set foot on this property again," Marcus warned, "you won't be walking away on both legs." That's when we heard sirens wailing from far off. Someone must have contacted the authorities. Red and blue lights danced across the houses down the street. For a brief moment, the entire neighborhood went silent. The actual police had finally shown up, and they were about to discover that these supposed HOA officers were nothing more than con artists who targeted the wrong grandmother, on the wrong porch at the wrong moment. If you're loving this HOA tale up to this point, hit like and subscribe because this story is about to get even more interesting. The sirens pierced through the evening as a pair of patrol cars came to a screeching stop outside Grandma's porch. Legitimate officers jumped out, surveying the destruction. One fake cop moaning in the yard, his partner hanging partially through Grandma's destroyed front window. Marcus standing proudly above them like a protective watchdog who had just won a battle. Grandma, calm as always, raised her shaking finger. "These individuals invaded my property. They pretended to be HOA officers. No HOA exists in this neighborhood. My grandson was protecting me." The officers removed the counterfeit badges from their clothing. Pure plastic. Complete fraudsters. The accusations flew quickly. Impersonating police officers, unlawful entry, assault charges. The fakes attempted to make excuses, but it was pointless. One stammered, "We were only attempting to collect payment." The other pleaded, "We believed this was lawful." But the real officers weren't fooled. They handcuffed both men, forcing them into the patrol vehicle's back seats. By then, neighbors had assembled, speaking in hushed tones and calling out simultaneously, "They conned me last month. They stole money from my relative. They've been pulling this scam throughout the area." It became clear that these fake HOA police had been targeting neighborhoods countywide, taking advantage of senior citizens by deceiving them into paying fraudulent penalties. Grandma hadn't merely survived an assault. She had helped uncover a major criminal operation. In just a few days, the district attorney filed charges not just against these two individuals, but against an entire network of scammers linked to them. Local television news dubbed it the fraudulent HOA operation. News reporters actually visited Grandma's porch, pushing microphones toward her. She simply grinned politely and stated, "I informed them no HOA operates here." Marcus remained by her side throughout, his knuckles still tender, his confidence unbreakable. He had intervened exactly when intervention was needed most. As the neighborhood observed the police cars departing, a burden was lifted. No more fake officers, no more intimidation, just tranquility. They believed they could frighten an elderly woman using counterfeit badges and deception. Instead, they found themselves in custody, while Grandma became a local hero.